Air. uh, so, yes. How many times you were upset, anxious, lazy since the last session? You need not to tell me, just think of it. That is okay. At least when you think of it, your mind will return and will remember my words. Oh, I've been lazy, I didn't do the practice. No, you know that I went to a restaurant, spent 3 hours, spent $100. Okay, why you spend 3 hours? I was very happy, I eat what I like. Oh, did you bring that pleasure at your home? What do you mean? How can you bring it? Oh, so that is my whenever I am stressed, I go get a short-term pleasure, return. And that is a repetition of that pleasure creates such an indelible impression in our mind, such a deep impression in our mind that makes me forget to do the practice. That makes me forget to contemplate and reflect. Ah, so do you mean that I should stop going? I have money. Should I stop going to the pleasure? No. One thing you should do, you only remember that this pleasure is short lived. Where? In your head. Can't you do that? Such a small thing? That I can't do it, that I can do it, but I forget. That forgetfulness is the ignorance, and ignorance is the cause of all the suffering. Understand it. Understand it. So when you understand this, then you do everything what you have been doing under the law and the rule and what is right and proper. Sometimes people mistake, do whatever you want to do. No. What is right and proper? What is right for you is right for others. That is why I asked this question, that how many times you were upset, anxious, reacted, lazy since the last session. It gives you an opportunity to remind you to remember that I'm still living in ignorance. Why? Happiness is my essential nature. I have to lay the foundation of Gita also simultaneously. Gita is a text of freedom. It is a text of awakening, realization, transformation. And it teaches us how to live your daily life in that state. I want to give a brief uh, understanding and a picture of this. Take an example of a phone. When you buy a phone, it comes with a manual. How many of you read actually the manual before using the phone? How many of you? We know the answer. But now, if something happens to the phone, first step is that we read the manual and we try to correct it. Sometimes we correct it. And if we cannot correct it, then we go to an expert mechanic. Now, can you tell me, does the mechanic has, do you have the same manual? Mechanic has a different manual. He knows the functioning of the parts. Are you clear? That is the second level. So that is what we are dealing now, the mental and the emotional level. where we need to purify the mind. Because all our actions, whether I think and speak and act in my daily life, it comes from that mind. So the problem is that mechanic level. I have to become a mechanic. I have to understand that manual. Are you getting it? The manual of the mechanic is different than the manual that we get about any gadget, whether it's a refrigerator, phone, etc., etc. Now, find out that if the mechanic cannot correct the problem, then what? No, I have to send it to the uh, Apple company so that they can replace the part. Are you getting it? So now tell me, at the third level, that expert has a different manual. Are you getting it? No. Yes. Say yes. Third level is that in the company, that engineer knows how the part is manufactured and how it works and where is the defect I need to replace, and then it replaces. Now compare it with our layers. First is the physical level. So any defect at the physical level has its root at the mental and emotional level. The more you purify the mind, you will find the life changes because our behavior and attitude changes. Then what happens? Then what happens? Now go to the phone again. From where the manufacturer gets an idea. First, they get an idea. They get an idea to create a phone. That idea is the intellect. What is the fourth level? How that manufacturer or the engineer or the innovator gets that idea. There must be some source in us. That source is the real self. That source is the real self. Then comes the I thought, and the intellect is an idea, and then it goes to the mind. Mind uses the sense and the motor organs and this entire body. That is how we are being. So we have yet to cover those two levels, the manufacturer level and the ultimate cause. That is the journey of awakening and realization. So once we, let me give you a simple example. I am happy with myself. Will I be ever unhappy? Just reverse this. I am happy with myself. And to express that happiness, I'm going to a restaurant for a dinner. No problem. Did you get it? I am so much stressed, I have not taken my food correctly. Let us go to the restaurant. So now the second level, mind. Mind first claims that pleasure, happiness lies outside. It causes a desire. And to complete that desire, there are more than 10 factors to complete. And I'm happy with myself. There is no factor you have to complete. I'm happy with myself. Happiness is my essential nature. How can you say that there are 10 factors? Going to a restaurant for a dinner or for a lunch? How can you say? Do you have a car? No, you cannot go to restaurant. First one factor. Do you have enough money to spend? Second factor. Are you getting it? Find out the other factors. Now you go to what we normally say here. This is the best restaurant. So when you find the best restaurants, the consumers are more. We have to wait for half an hour to get the table. Go on finding the factors. I can tell you, you will find more than 10 factors to get a short term pleasure, and that dissolves within few minutes. As long as we have that mindset, the impurity will continue. I tell you. What are those impurities? Likes and dislikes, joy and the sorrow, from the world outside, hatred and jealousy. And then we cannot evolve. So what happens? You you hear the teacher, you understand the principle, but 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 we know what happens in our life. We know what happens. I'm upset, I'm anxious, I'm very much tired today. Oh, why you're tired? No, we went to the restaurant, spent 3 hours. So do you have half an hour to practice and contemplate? No, now I'm tired. Let me go to sleep. Cycle. That cycle continues. And that does not bring the change. Sometimes we experience the change instantly, but otherwise it does not bring the change. Let me talk a little about hatred and the jealousy. Do we expect an appreciation and recognition from the world? Say yes. We all need recognition and appreciation. Does it come to my mind consciously to appreciate and recognize how a particular person in my life, a relation in my life, people in my life, condition in my life have contributed to my growth? How many times it comes to you? You start appreciating, contributing through contemplation and reflection mentally, I'm saying, mentally and emotionally. This hatred and jealousy will dissolve. I forgot to appreciate Dennis, who has been with us. We are together, I think, more than 15 years. Dennis, more than 15 years. Can you see his contribution? He translates me into Ukrainian without any complaint for the last 15 years to a group. And because he contributes to the growth of the others, he evolved faster than others. I'm just giving a simple example in your life. I don't like my dad and mom. At least their contribution is to give you the birth. That is why you are a human being. Let your dad be crazy. It is his problem. I'm saying don't tell him, but can I do it emotionally and feeling? Let me have that feeling. Do it for about a week. Those who have contributed in our growth and our evolution, our happy life, our healthy life, even they have contributed. Yesterday was Father's Day. That's why I'm talking about it. That emotional connect, I need to do it mentally. I have to feel it mentally. When I feel it, it purifies the mind. You have 100 likes and dislikes against your parents and your friends and mom and dad and son and daughter, but at least contribution. I stop being a consumer. Do you recall the previous principles? I said connect, contribute, and celebrate. Just it takes for a minute. Takes for a minute. Why we are doing it? We want to purify the mind. That is the second level, so that we can step into the third level of our journey of the self-discovery. So what happens? Ignorance. You can say ignorance is ignorance and commander-in-chief, that ego. They are the couple. And they have a large family of likes and dislikes, the pleasure-seeking mind, the joy and the sorrow, the hatred and the jealousy. What is the effect? Struggle, stress, delusion. That is the problem. The journey is so scientific, logical. So what happens, because the ignorance on one hand, it creates a problem, is that ignorance creates the ego, and then ego marries with the ignorance. And that ego feels the sense of incompleteness, and that sense of incompleteness creates a desire. I desire what I like. I don't desire what I dislike. Don't worry, my picture might be moving up and down. I'm testing there's a live camera, it adjusts itself. What is it, the motion camera? So you contributed for buying my camera. You just have a feeling of that. You need not to do anything. The moment you have a feeling, the time comes every day, you wake up in the morning, you feel so many people, so many situations have contributing to my evolution. Will you have likes and dislikes? Will you have joy and sorrow? Will you have jealousy and hatred? No, I have a specific hatred against that guy. I don't like his behavior. We spend 90%, our mind spends 90% of our time in that. In delusion, we forget the real self. We don't see the existence. We are not able to see that real self. We are not able to do what is right and proper and good in our life. And ultimately, all the impurities returns to our life. Think of it. I'm not saying, just believe it. Contemplate and reflect and apply in your life. You are contributing emotionally. And say, for example, if someone is in front of you, yes, find out how you can speak or physically contribute. Why? To get rid of those likes and dislikes. Do you remember the story of Narada, monkey face? His job as a palmist to predict. He predicted it. And then he got engaged into the impurity of the mind. And then he had the monkey face that we discussed. So that monkey face comes due to the 4 root weaknesses. Same Narada, same guy who became enlightened, and now he realizes through contemplation and reflection and regular practices. He said desire, 1, hesitation, 2, repeat desire, 3, fear, are the four root weaknesses in our life that causes the impurities. And then impurities ultimately results into stress and suffering. Are you stressed in listening? So find out where is the problem. So desire simply means now I'm redefining the desire. That is how we are progressing. You might be thinking as if I'm repeating. No. Desire first likes and dislikes. Desire is a memory. Desire is a memory. So my mind brings that memory in front. Say, for example, if you like me, okay, let me listen. If you dislike, that memory says, you know what it says. It happened to Terry. Maid is crazy. No, no, second level is crazy in my mind. I can talk. Oh, she shared a couple of times. No, 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 no. At least maid is contributing to you. I have to look at that point and then correct her. Why? I'm very selfish because I have to purify my mind. So, desire. What I said, I'm redefining. Desire is likes and dislikes. Desire, I said, what I like, I want to grab it. I want to possess it. I want to own it. So there is a distance between the what I desire and me. So I have to make an effort. So anytime we make an effort, there is a sense of hesitation in the mind. Mind is triggered with that sense of hesitation. No, I have to make an effort to possess and own it. Why? To enjoy it. I gave an example of going to a restaurant for a lunch and dinner. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to go to a gas station before we go to the restaurant. I can give you millions of examples that goes unnoticed. You say, oh, no, 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 I have to go to there. We are 7 people. So, okay, you bring your car also. No, my car is not working. Okay, then I will take second round to bring you to the restaurant. I can give you a small, we don't notice it. So this is Narada says, this is the Narada says hesitation. The moment I have a desire to possess and own anything, to enjoy any kind of a pleasure, the mind has a trigger, has an hesitation. That hesitation has become a new normal in our life. That is why we say the stress, silent level of stress. Just recognize you might be recalling those events and experiences in your life. We need to purify the mind. Second is now I forget that the hesitation is always present in achieving anything in the world. I have to make an effort, even if I have to take a glass of water from here to the kitchen. So that effort is there. I forgot that. And then comes my friends, because I have, I have a short-term pleasure. And that short-term pleasure, its memory is strengthened by repetition. Maid is crazy, first day. Second day. But at least maid is helping me in taking care of me. What is the best thing in the maid who is contributing to my welfare? These are the aspects. Now your mind is clear. Now you see what you want for the maid to do for you. So you call her, you sit down, you say, these are the things I want. I'm just giving an example, open. So what you're doing, you are educating the maid, you are contributing. Are you getting? You are contributing. Now, Wait, let me have another, this is crazy. So then what happens? Who has made the mind impure? Who has created the impression? It will go into the memory. No, but I'm listening your lesson very calmly, I love you. No, love everyone. Love everyone. Are you getting? Love everyone. So that is the repeat desire demands the same situation again, same condition again, and to recall that short-term pleasure is known as the greed. I'm explaining in a different way because every master have given a different interpretation. Now, what about the fear? Oh, I had a wonderful vacation. Why you go to vacation? Do I go to a vacation to express my peace and happiness, or I got more stress going to the vacation? One of my friends here, I'm saving. That's a good pattern. That's a good idea. I'm saving about $250 a month. After the end of the year, I will have something around $3,000. Yeah, $3,000, and then I will go on a vacation. I will not tell you. She has gone on a vacation at that place. I told you, any pleasure demands many factors. And she got sick there for about a week. She went on a vacation for a week. No, I'm not criticizing. I should check all. I should be aware. I have a lot of money. I'm going on vacation. You are objecting to it. No, I'm not objecting to it. I'm not objecting to it. You go on a vacation to purify your mind. That is the name vacation. You vacate your mind. Think of it, my friend. So what happens, because I have a memory of those pleasures, and maybe you got pleasures 10 times, short-term pleasure. That is not equivalent to happiness. Are you sure? Did you understand that point? I went to the restaurant 10 times, I got 5% pleasure, 10% pleasure. So if you cannot aggregate, you cannot add. It does not become happiness. Mind knows it. What is the result? Fear. Fear. How beautifully the guy whose mind was impure, who was a polymath. This Narada was a polymath. He knew all the subjects. And he got caught into that problem. Fear. Fear. The moment we stop the tendency of being a consumer and we become a contributor, that ego dissolves. We raise our awareness. And then you can play with these likes and dislikes. At present, they are playing with us. That is what, we all know that. Mind is leading our life or I'm living my life. We already know. So unless we purify the mind, we cannot move to the third level. Third level. This phone is sent to the manufacturer address, and then they have to change that, replace that part. And from that idea of creating a phone has come from the ultimate source. The idea of this human being that you are seeing at a physical level, which has the second emotional and mental level, which has the third intellectual level, and after that, the ultimate cause is what we say the spirituality. So once you reach there, what happens? I'm happy with myself. So do you want to go for a lunch? Yes. No, you are not happy. That's why it means that you're not happy. No, I'm happy. I will express that happiness by taking a lunch there. So now what happens? I'm leading the mind. Are you getting it? So every day, 24 by 7, you are in the state of the happiness. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed and no struggle, being comfortable, my friends. Being comfortable, position of the body, eyes are closed gently. And I have been repeating again and again. I've been, in fact, silently challenging your mind. How fast we are centered. Fourth level, we are always centered. Do you see that? That is why I explained you the four levels. Fourth level, I'm already centered, but I don't recognize it. Somebody is obstructing mind. No, no, impurities or the mind. Are you getting it? So what happens? You're already settled. You're already settled. So when we say you look inside the forehead in the space, we are tapping the third level. We bypass all the impurities. How? Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Let everyone be happy. Why? That third level knows from where the happiness comes. Do you see? I use the same steps, but we use the understanding. Oh, that is why. And intellectually, we know happiness is our essential nature. Why? Because we are searching and seeking peace and happiness. What obstructs? Second level, the mind. We are on a journey at the second level, my friends. So do you charge yourself with emotion and the feeling using the mantra with a focus, with a goal? Yes, it will work. You ask me which is the strongest mantra, and you do it mechanically. You have not read the manual. I'm just comparing what we discussed. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. You charge yourself with emotion. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Let everyone, may there be peace for all. Why peace is the essential nature not only of me, but of every living species, and every living species, including my honey, near and the dear ones, are also looking for peace. So, how I'm contributing? When they get upset with you, I'm contributing by thinking that, okay, they don't know this journey. So my near and dear ones becomes angry because they are seeking peace by becoming angry, by becoming upset. I know it, what I should do. Will you get upset? That is the greatest application that we should be doing it almost 24 by 7, my friends. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. This is a great blow to these four root weaknesses. Let me enjoy, have a pleasure with the lunch. And what a great blow, I'm completed myself. Come on. Happiness is within me. So should I not go? No, let me go there. If I have all the means and all the factors are orderly, let me go there. Are you getting it? Yes. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Let there be auspiciousness for all. Not everyone can treat this path. It challenges our wrong notions, the impurities of the mind. I can tell you, people will come and go. The seeker is one who stays. Mangalam, auspiciousness. And so we are invoking the third level, conception, conceiving. We say, conceiving an idea. When the girl is pregnant, we say, oh, she has conceived. No doubt. We know the physical cause of the conception. That is the only role of the parents. Otherwise, does the mom say that now you grow 1 inch more? Can it happen? It happened by some other forces that we need to explore. That is the third level. So now we will go for another set of purification of the mind. Before another purification of the mind, you look inside the forehead in the space, you say Om Shanti mentally with the space. I told you that you give a pause. You are not in a hurry. You're not doing it habitually and mechanically. Now you are reading the method. I'm just giving you a parallel to make you 100% clear. And in that state, start breathing quick and short breath into your chest. Expansion and contraction of the chest continues. And see, it continues without break in a rhythmic fashion. Who notices this? Third level, the intellect notices this. Who notices the problem in the mind? Mind says, no, I cannot do it. It's third level. How? You're just aware. Shanti continues. Body remains in the state of comfortable. You see, I skipped easily the two steps, being comfortable and carefree. It shows we are a higher seeker. Continue the journey, body steady. Who is aware? Third level, intellect is aware. Om Shanti, awareness. Second point, doing the breath. Intellect is aware. You need not to think, but it's only aware because it has the knowledge. What needs to be done? Expansion and the contraction of the ribs is already there. Who interrupts the mind? How? Impurities. Be 100% clear. When you have that clarity and when you do the practice, every practice brings 100% result. And stop it. What you do after stopping doing nothing. You are aware. Awareness is knowledge. You recognize and accept the changes that is taking place. I'll take up that later. Something is popping in my mind. Experience the changes in the experiences. Now get ready for the second breathing, Om Shanti, in the space inside the forehead, and start with the belly breathing. Expand your belly and contract your belly. Yeah, doing the belly breathing, it's a longer breath. The focus goes into the belly. Normally, in Kundalini and Tantra meditation, we say the belly breathing invokes the solar plexus. We'll talk in detail about that, what it is, and how it invokes those. But yes, at a primary level, we can say that, and it starts raising our energy, moving downward to upward. Belly breathing, Om Shanti, steadiness in the body. And stop this. Just watch who brings your faster breath to the normal breathing pattern. Am I responsible? No. Some unknown forces are at work. So we will not understand it through biology or physiology. We will understand it through the Eastern wisdom. Why? We want to know the unknown force at work all the time. And now is the time to do the breathing both from the belly and the rib cage with Om Shanti continues dropping with a pause. Deep. First, you inhale into the belly. Belly expands like a balloon. Continue inhaling without break. It expands your chest, and you exhale. Belly squeezes in the chest. Beautiful. Continue. And now leave this long in the hissing breath. Instead, start the deep silent and slow breath as you inhale. Mind moves from the crown of the head down into the spine, reaches to the tailbone, singing in your mind. Om Shanti with the breath. Exhalation completes at the inhalation completes at the tailbone. Now exhalation, the mind rises again with Om Shanti into the spine, reaches at the tailbone. Can I say we are mocking this process? Now, what we are mocking? When we move to the third level, we start finding an upsurge of energy, a movement of the energy into the body, results into vision and the colors and a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. And that is what I named it as a nyasa. And you already know I equated it with uh, the car is the breath, the mind is the intellect is the driver, the mind. You are sitting there doing Om Shanti, and when the intellect is driving on the highway, the mind is pure. I equate it with lot of metaphors. And now leave this step also look inside the cave of your heart. Visualize the triangle in any color that you want. Move the mind with Om Shanti on each side of the triangle and check consciously which is who is checking the third level. When you find a sync, a movement of the mind, dropping of Om Shanti and the side of the triangle, that is the right time. Move the mind inside with singing Om inside the center of a triangle. Mind seemingly stops. Drop Shanti, say Shanti, and just do nothing. So, what I'm checking that there is some kind of motionless state. We are picking up the third level. That's why I talked about it. So, whatever is changing cannot stop moving, whether we notice or not. But something in us, and now leave that step, drop on Shanti on the 16 segments of the four fingers, where all the senses are working through the mind. You already know, as if the mind sees, mind touch, mind speaks, mind listens, Om Shanti. With that extraordinary awareness, can I use that? Yes. Om Shanti. So when that happens, what will happen? Even in daily life, you are saying Om Shanti, it takes your mind there. If it is true, you will settle in that. If it is not true, first time we get a feel, we get a presence. Oh, that presence is there. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. If you have any question, we can share. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good. I'm good. The lesson, um, what resonated with me most was the small pleasures are not happiness. And so I played that over and over again in my mind, along with everything you were saying. When we got to the start of the meditation, um, when you started chanting the mantra of the Survey Sham, I could see a clear eyeball looking back at me.
Good.
So that was nice. And then when we got to the triangle, this intense warmth within my heart center, and just completely absorbed the rest of the meditation.
Wonderful. You pick up any principle and it takes us there. Small platter does not become happiness. And that is how you see that, though in Kundalini meditation, we talk a lot about the third eye, because the mind becomes clear that there is something else by which I can see. So the mind creates those visions of the third eye. It's okay, it's a journey. So gradually that will also dissolve. Third eye means the wisdom. Third eye means that it's a higher consciousness. So there is no physical third eye. But when you do not understand, you color that. Then no, no, today I did not see the third eye. That creates a lot of challenges in this journey. Wonderful. Thank you, Stephen. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. Our little puppy woke up and knocked my coffee over and our computer over. But other than that, it was, I really enjoyed the lesson and the different levels of mechanics and
Yeah.
different manuals that they have. That sort of resonated with me. And I was thinking that you could also say they have different levels of knowledge as you get up to the manufacturer.
Yeah.
But one,
There you
sorry.
There you go. You are right.
And then what I found was interesting when you got to the innovator stage, you said that that was the true self. And I looked at that as that's creativity. So I'm taking that creativity is really when you tap into your real self is where creativity comes from. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
First thing is wonderful that you said I didn't specifically say that knowledge level is different at all these four levels. But ultimately, when we start asking from where that knowledge comes, the mind knows it comes through an idea. Idea is a thought, plus imagination, plus creativity. That is being expressed at the third level. Now we have to ask, does that real self need any kind of a creation or manifestation? If yes, why and how? And if no, why and how? So once we solve that puzzle of the ignorance, we find our real self. We are doing it. We are going to do it. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. Thank you. It was a very active meditation for me. I was observing my mind, reflecting, and it kind of started with the maid when you referred to Terry and her maid. And then that went to the mind thinking about the student and the student being the teacher appearing when the student's ready.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that, when we continue to, and then I go to nursing, then my mind went to nursing. So because there's not a lot of room for error,
Yeah.
so the student really has to be ready to take on certain responsibilities. And if they're not, then that doesn't mean that you've lost your patience, or in fact, they don't get defensive and they don't blame because they weren't taught properly, or they didn't have, they just understand that they're not ready. And then they go to the place they are ready, and they stay there until maybe they're ready to move up. And it's kind of like in the transactional world that we're in, when we're in these relationships, whether it's at work or with our teacher student, if we can't push somebody to be ready. They're either ready and the knowledge is received or just unveiled, because we already have the knowledge. We just sometimes forget or didn't know we have it. And so anyway, so it was
Yeah.
very active. My mind was very active.
Yeah. When the intellect is active, sometimes it gives you a thought form of a knowledge, and sometimes it is purely a non-verbal understanding. Do you see that? So
Yeah.
you explained what David says totally in a different way, but that makes a sense. That what the person has to be ready to eat the food, the rest will be taken care by the digestive system.
Yeah,
You cannot sit down and digest the food.
yeah, and when the mind is constantly blaming, complaining, getting irritated, defensive, then the mind's working on us. We're not working on the mind.
We are not working on the mind. And that is what we say, these are the impurities of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we purify the mind, we cannot tap the third level. We cannot tap the third level. Now what happens at the manufacturer level, if some part of your iPhone is got out of order, it has to go to a manufacturing plant. What is that? that we are going to explore. Wonderful, beautiful sharing your experiences, David and Jerry. How are you, Brandy?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning. I noticed that the mind was trying to, during the meditation, hurry along the process. So I kind of find myself in a hurry. So I found this balance with the intellect saying, no, we're like this, we're not rushing through this, right? This is not kind of like you said, it wasn't mechanical. It was trying to be mechanical and kind of rote, but I kept bringing it back to like the here and now, right? The presence of it.
Beautiful. Yes, beautiful. So your knowledge, your awareness did the rest of the work on the mind, that I need not to be in a hurry. Mind always wants to play with us. So you played with the mind. That is what we need in our daily life. Wonderful. How are you, Terry?
I'm good. Yeah, I just was very deeply in I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
You did
Well, a
not
couple,
mind. I gave an example of your maid
no,
and you. Very good.
yeah. I always keep an eye on that, what's going on with that. And yeah, but I got lost a couple times and I don't know where my thoughts must have carried me away somewhere.
Yeah. That is the journey. We have to undertake that journey. We have to undertake a journey. I can talk about it, one person where our Dennis translates that session, uh, that person stopped attending the session because I helped her to know what we say, our weak spot. That is an American phrase, weak spot. Weak spot means the impurities of the mind. So
Uh-huh.
he does not attend the session, live session, but she receives the lesson and she also sends her contribution. Now, where is the problem? Commander in chief is the problem. So we sometimes we are totally sleeping to those impurities of the mind, and our masters helps us to open. Beautiful. How are you, Dennis?
Fine, Guruji, thank you. In the meditation, I had an experience of thoughtlessness after the breathing. It was like just the space existed and nothing else. It's at least I could not experience anything else but the space.
That's good.
For some time, not for a long time, but for some time. Then there was warmth in the spine when we were moving with Om Shanti up and down.
Good.
And when you mentioned this is the question that I wanted to ask. When you mentioned the manifestation of real self, can we say that any manifestation of the real self is not real? It is false?
You are right. You are digging very deep. Manifestation means the effect. Any effect, even in the material world, cannot be real because the real is the cause. Real is the cause. So when we say cause and effect relationship, so now see that this body manifestation, we say the physical body. What is the cause of it? We say subtle body is the cause. What is the cause of the subtle body? It is the causal body. From where the causal body came? From ignorance. and behind that ignorance, what is located? Real self. So that is the journey we are making. You're right. You're right. What he is saying, I'm repeating, any manifestation. What is that manifestation? World of name and the form. Now come down to very in a simple language. World of name and form. Anything, if it has a name and it has a form, it is an effect. It cannot be the cause. Whether my body, your body, whether this house, anything. And when we move to the ultimate cause, Eastern wisdom says we find one unitary, all-pervading consciousness. Who is that? That is me. I become unlimited. I become infinite. Now I'm limited. How? Because of the manifestation. Because of the limitation, I find a body must get some pleasure. Go to the restaurant. That's why I give an example. Yeah. That's a beautiful way to express it. You're right. How are you, Samir?
Sir, meditation it was totally thoughtlessness was there, and my mind quickly went inside, and was whole day I was traveling, but after doing meditation, means I have all the fatigueness is gone in my body.
Yes, you rightly said. Ask the cause of the fatigueness. Dennis, I take up your question again. Mind says, I have worked so many hours. One is a real fatigue. What is the real fatigue, you know? My master used to say, death of the body. Before that, it is caused by the mind. Even saying that I'm tired, you're not tired. You're making a false claim. That is the fourth level. That is the wonderful. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.